Tory MPs batter Theresa May over rail chaos and demand she get a grip to ensure the trains finally run on time. Tory MPs battered Theresa May over the chaos gripping the railways in a gruelling PMQs today. Henry Smith and former Transport Secretary Theresa Villiers both demanded answers from the Prime Minister on when the government would get a grip. A complete overhaul of the train timetable nationwide has been a disaster since rail companies tried to roll it out last month. Hundreds of services have been delayed or cancelled across the country. Temporary suspension of some services has so far failed to stabilize the system. Mrs. Villiers the PM to do everything she can to ensure Network Rail and GTR get a grip and bring an end to the appalling delays suffered by my constituents? Mrs. May replied, "I absolutely recognize the problem passengers have faced. Passengers have been let down. Delays they have been experiencing are unacceptable. That's why we need to take immediate action, and that is what the Department for Transport is doing." Crawley MP Henry Smith said, "The majority of my constituents want to see their trains arrive without delay. Here are the main events surrounding the railway commuter chaos. May 20th: train operators across the country overhauled their timetables. Northern Rail and Thameslink see the biggest changes to their timetables. Late May, the overhaul sparks chaos with hundreds of trains cancelled or delayed on a daily basis. Northern Rail faces calls to be stripped of its franchise, while Manchester Andy Burnham accused Transport Secretary Chris Grayling of being asleep at the wheel. June 4th: Northern Rail and Thameslink introduce an interim timetable to try to get on top of the crisis. The changes see hundreds of services axed from the timetable. Northern Rail apologized to its customers and says it will give them compensation. Can we have delivery? Mrs. May insisted the government was taking action to solve the problems on the railways. Labour leader Jeremy Corbyn also seized on the opportunity to mock Mrs. May over the chaos. He likened the government's Brexit planning to Northern trains, telling MPs the Prime Minister has delivered more delays and more cancellations than the franchise. Transport Secretary Chris Grayling was humiliated in the Commons on Monday after the introduction of an emergency timetable triggered yet more chaos on the railways. In a desperate effort to limit last-minute cancellations and provide a more reliable service yesterday, almost 400 trains were axed on Northern, Thameslink and Great Northern services. But passengers across England were let down yet again as more than 200 additional trains were cancelled at short notice or severely delayed by mid-afternoon. The industry said 590 scheduled services either failed to turn up, or did not turn up on time, leaving passengers stranded on platforms. This meant that just under 1,000 trains were delayed or cancelled before the evening rush hour had even begun. Mr. Grayling was accused of being asleep at the wheel and urged to resign by his opposite number, Labour's Andy MacDonald.